Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the new Strength Super 17, well Joint 17 into Super 17 unit that's coming to Dbz Dokkan Battle Global as the final DFE before the anniversary. So this is Android 17 and Hellfighter 17, and we're going to take a look at how good they are. So they are a joint forces or target Goku category lead of 170% with an additional 30% for characters who belong to the androids category. I feel like GT bosses would have been better, but I guess they couldn't do that because they're not on GT bosses in their base form, but it's a bit weird, or at least some of the other Hellfighter 17s aren't. So overall though, decent leader skill, if not something unspectacular, another variant of an android leader skill basically. They have key plus 2 attack and defense of 100% with an additional key plus 1 attack and defense of 70% when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class. They have an additional attack and defense of 70% when performing a super attack, and they launch an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack. They launch an additional super attack when there's a superclass enemy for 4 turns from the start of turn, and their chance of performing a critical hit and chance of evading the enemy's attack, including super attack, is plus 17% within the same turn with each attack performed. So what this means is essentially they're pretty good with an extreme class team, which makes sense. They are extreme orientated. Nice raise on their super attack, which I think is pretty good. And if you're facing a superclass enemy, they gain a little bit of quite a sizable buff. This does make things a little bit strange in terms of building them, but I think it's pretty straightforward because you want to go full additional due to the fact that they'll gain evasion and crit hit chance with each attack performed. They have Brutal Beatdown, Android Assault, Shocking Speed, GT, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle as their link set, which is decent. Fear and Faith and GT helps them a lot when linking up with other GT bosses units. In terms of the active skill Special Fusion, this can be activated when HP is 70% or less, starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. They will raise attack and raise defense for 1 turn and cause immense damage to the enemy with their super attack, which is pretty decent. When they fuse into Super 17. Super 17 changes only 1 link to Fused Fighter to accommodate, and then he has key plus 3. Sorry about that. He has key plus 3 plus attack and defense of 170%, plus an additional attack and defense of 170%, or sorry, attack of 170% when performing a super attack. He reduces damage received by 34% and for 4 turns from the start of turn, an additional damage reduction of 17%. 34% is decent. The 17% on top puts him at 51, which is really quite solid. He launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. And he has an additional defense of 17% with each attack received up to 170. So a unit that's going to become quite tanky naturally. I can imagine with 340% defense alongside his damage reduction, that 17% will be kicking in separately as well. He's going to be looking quite chunky when it comes to defense. Medium chance of performing a critical hit when there's a superclass enemy. That's good because it can kind of reciprocate into the additional build from his base form. He absorbs Ki Blast super attacks directed at the super at a character and recovers 34% of the HP or damage absorbed as HP if HP is 70% or less at the start of turn. And he foresees enemy super attacks when HP is 34% or less. So there's a couple things that are interesting here. So he obviously recovers health. It's pretty, it's like a very rare mechanic. It's pretty good. There's a lot of key based supers. You know, just looking at Red Zone, AGL Broly is key based. The Omega Shenron is key based. Cell Max I believe is not key based, but there's quite a few that are key based. At least 2 of them, so that makes them pretty good from that aspect. In SBR there's a lot of key based super attacks all over the place, so in general he's pretty well covered there. The HP being restricted to 70% or below feels a bit weird and unnecessary. The 4C enemy super attacks is okay, would be nice if it was a little bit higher in terms of requirement, like 50% health would be cool. He greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage to the enemy. Overall, I think Super 17 is good. A little bit wonky, like the 17% meme kind of rhetoric theme that they always go with him kind of limits him a little bit in the base form, because those 17% crit hits are only really going to build up by like your 3rd super attack, which in reality, you know, they have a good chance of doing for the first 4 turns, and then it kind of just falls away, so it becomes like a 34% crit chance, which is okay, but that then only applies separately. You then also, obviously, when he transforms, have that medium chance of critting, which is good, but overall, nothing crazy. The banner unit is Dr. Myuu and Dr. Gero. Only shame about this banner unit is that they don't exist on GT bosses, and I think this is the biggest issue with the unit in general for me. So they target Goku category lead, that's not too crazy. They have Prodigies, Thirst for Conquest, GT, Scientist, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle. These links you're not really going to activate except for alongside like Android 19 and 20. They can't be on Androids, which is kind of weird. Well, not weird, but it limits them obviously because of Dr. Myuu. They're not on GT bosses. They're just very limited, like because of that. Like, okay, Terrifying Conquerors, target Goku, I guess, Battle of Wits, but you know, target Goku's kind of a slightly limited variant of a team, but yeah, it's getting better, but they just feel a little bit too limited in terms of category. Passive wise, they look pretty good. Attack and defense of 150%, and additional attack and defense when performing a super. Target Goku category allies, key +1, attack and defense of 30%, plus an additional key +1, attack and defense of 20% for target Goku category allies for 2 turns with 3 or more key spheres obtained. Also very, very good. When there's an enemy whose name includes Goku, youth, captain, etc. excluded, as always, seals all enemies' super attacks if HP is 70% or more at the start of turn, and an additional attack and defense of 150%, and guards all attacks. So the thing is obviously against a Goku, they are like insane. In every other situation, they are decent. 2-turn supports are pretty good. Their defense will be very solid after they super, and yeah, they are decent. They just a little bit limited. Like, they're going to be very good against Goku. You only really face Goku in your hardest event, being the Fighting Legend Goku event, but still, they are very, very solid as a unit. In terms of their super attack effect, they greatly raise defense for 1 turn and cause supreme damage to the enemy. So that's pretty good stuff overall. I think, you know, it's always difficult being the Dokkan Fest before Annie, but I think overall they have nice kits. I just think, you know, combination with other GT bosses, lack of a GT boss's lead, limits them a bit. Target Goku is obviously a much better category that they're obviously designed for. Target Goku itself does have some decent units on it, so it is somewhere. It's just not maybe exactly where we want it to be, but still pretty good. Let's take a look at their animations. Overall, I think the animations are in a good position. I think they're solid, and I think they look really, really good. The Dr. Gero and Dr. Myuu, pretty solid. Yeah, I think the snapper animation particularly looks really good. I think overall the 17s looks solid. I think with what they're dealing with, they've done a pretty good job. I do think the Super 17 transformation looks really quite good. I think the voice acting there is solid. The lines they chose and the audio come through very good. The actual animation for, you know, the counter or the nullification or absorption also looks really good. I actually quite like it. I think it's really cool. And his attack looks very good as well. So I think there's good quality in these animations. If you're someone who really enjoyed the Super 17 saga or Super 17 as a character, then there's a lot here for you, because I actually think this is really, really cool. And he's going to augment quite a few other characters that are Super 17 related. So it's all good to see him make a little bit of a heroic comeback. Beyond that though, that is basically, you know, everything regarding his animations. But good stuff. So yeah, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye.